Again, it's August Bank Holiday weekend, and traditional now, I think, is the case that following the Inter-Centre, we do get an excellent lineup here at Basingstoke. Yes, it's Basingstoke Club's meeting. We had a super day here yesterday with the centre riders, and we've got an inflated entry from the original entry. We've got a terrific lineup in 250, 350, 500 solo and 1000cc sidecar. Well, obviously I can't predict who's going to do any winning today because the entry is so even. We've not got the world superstars here, but we have got a very even solo class. I think we're sure of an excellent day's racing. The wind, fortunately, is blowing in the right direction, so if it does get dusty, then I don't think we'll have any problems with that. So we look forward to a great day's racing.
Page 24 in your programme. And so there will be one or two additions to the races as we go through, but I'll try and pick them up for you as we go through the programme. As we get started, that looks as if we've got a good start there for trying to round off that line. Number 142, Chris Phillips. Chris just out of junior class and straight away showing that he can be very, very competitive in the senior racing as well. Number 33 is Richard Smith in second place. Richard, of course, a very experienced 250 rider, but at the moment it's Chris Phillips that's got away. There's quite a gap opening up between him and second place. Chris Phillips casually looking over his shoulder saying, well, come on, I've been out here for practice. I know exactly what I need to do. Keith Richards moving up into third place now as he's gone very, very wide into that bottom bend. Oh, there's no answer to Chris Phillips to start the day off. Losing one of our riders on this top bend. Quickly the marshals clearing the machinery off the circuit. And no problem for Chris Phillips as he goes into his last lap. Richard Smith still there in second place. Richard Simmons in fact has moved up into that third place after Keith Richards has gone very wide in this bottom bend. But as we see the checkered flag up for the very first time this afternoon, the winner of race 1 this afternoon is Chris Phillips. Richard Smith comes across the line in second place, and it is going to be Richard Simmons that picks up third spot. Official result of the first race of the afternoon, a win for number 142, that's Chris Phillips. In second place, number 33, that's Richard Smith, and third place, number 180, Richard Sims. Fourth place there, too, rider number 5, and fifth place, number 143. Sixth place, number 1. Seventh place, number 94. Eighth place, 34. Ninth place, 86. 10th place, 330. No other finishes there. The winning time, 130.74. Still with the 250s, of course. Looking across that far side, we've got a group of riders going into that first bend together. Try and pick them up for you as they come round, but don't recognise any distinguished ones at the moment. Oh, Keith Strudwick is right up there in second place. Adrian Squirrel is the rider that had the lead from Keith Strudwick as they went into that bottom bend for the first time, but Keith Strudwick having to be content with second place, or is he? He looks as if he's going to be caught as well going down that back straight. Adrian Squirrel then still holding the lead from Keith Strudwick in second place as they come round off that top bend. Adrian Squirrel it is, Keith Strudwick in second. He's getting pressure from number 62. We thought that Steve Sarrett was going to ride as number 162, but obviously in the 250 class he's come out on 62. Well, now that's interesting. You can notice that we've entered Steve Sarrett in the programme twice. Number 118, Bill Sims, up in 4th place at the moment. A good battle going on for that 4th and 5th place. But Adrian Squirrel still maintaining that lead, keeping away just 4 bike lengths or so from second place Keith Strudwick. And as we see the checkered flag go for them this time, it's going to be a win for Adrian Squirrel. Keith Strudwick hangs on to that second place. Steve Sarrett, I can just about see a 1 on the back of that bike, so perhaps he is riding as 162. A win for number 32, Adrian Squirrel. Second place, number 124, that's Keith Strudwick. And third place, number 162, Steve Sarrett. Fourth place, number 118, Bill Sims. And fifth place, number 49, John Pilcher. Sixth place there, number 201. And seventh place, 58. Eighth place, 137. Ninth place, number 57. 10th place, 272. And the winning time, 131.50. 131.50. We move on to race 3, and if you'd like to move across to that far side of the page there, you can see we put a grid in for the quad invitation, and we've got actually invited from yesterday's meeting 5 250s and 2 in the 500 class. They'll all go out together. Well, that looks interesting, because that would have made 7, but perhaps we haven't got the 2 that... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 it is now there. So, I'll give you the full list of riders once we've got this first race completed. But at the moment, it's a lead for Tony Nash from Steve Hawkins going into that bottom bend. Tony Nash on a 250cc Suzuki. There's a lot of work for this Quad Racing Association. And although we gave them a lot more races yesterday, we thought we'd invite some of the top riders through this afternoon just to show you what they're actually capable of. And at the moment, Steve Hawkins trying to get the lead from Tony Nash. Richard Seal, who I understood did most of the winning here yesterday, in third place at the moment. They are just on 4 point scoring rides as they go through the afternoon. But Steve Hawkins showing the way at the moment as he pulled away from Tony Nash, and now Richard Seal trying to get up into that top spot as he moves into second place in front of Tony Nash. One more lap to go then for Steve Hawkins to perhaps win the first race of the afternoon. And Richard Seal, I'm sure, has got other ideas as he dives in hard into that bottom bend. He's certainly closed the gap, but I wonder if there is just enough time to actually take the lead. Still Tony Nash and Mark Treadwell fighting it out for that third place. But as we come into this top bend, this is the last bend. It'll be the checkered flag as they come towards me. Richard Seal pushing hard, but it's going to be a race win for Steve Hawkins. Richard Seal gets second, Tony Nash hangs on the third, and Mark Treadwell finishes in fourth. Of the quad competition, and not proving to be too good for rider number 2, Richard Newton, but a win for number 46, that's Steve Hawkins. In second place, number 1, Richard Seal. Third place, number 3, Tony Nash. Fourth place, number 9, Mark Treadwell. And fifth place, number 2, having completed just 3 laps. The winning time, 129.48. 129.48, that winning time. Oh, waiting for somebody to come in line. Oh, it doesn't look as if we've got very many, but believe me, we've got some very experienced 350 riders there. Steve Daw right on the inside, Mitch Godden next to him, Lee Street, number 75. John Shane's the last of the riders to come into line as they indeed get themselves underway, looking for Mitch Godden to come from the centre of the gate. It is Mitch Godden and Lee Street that have gone into that first bend. Steve Daw up into third place as they come round this first bend, but it's Mitch Godden that sets the pace, and Steve Daw goes a long way round to try and get round Lee Street, doesn't complete it on that first bend, chases after him down this finishing straight. Number 186 in fourth place is Paul Orton, but the battle at the front is going to be between those three as Mitch Godden looks to have got it sorted and is trying to get away from Lee Street in second place. Steve Daw right on the back wheel of Lee Street as they come into this top bend. He loves to throw it wide and hard. It goes much further than everybody else, but it's very quick. Mitch Garton though, riding well at the moment, looks to have got this bottom bend well and truly sussed. It's a little bit tighter than the top bend. It requires a different riding skill, and you can see that Mitch Godden certainly seems to have it mastered at the moment. As he goes up the hill once again, opened up quite a gap between him and Lee Street in second. Steve Daw desperately trying to get that second place. Tries to move around the outside again, but Lee Street maintains second place. He's got a much tighter, neater riding line, particularly on this bottom bend. Steve Daw cuts inside though, a brilliant piece of riding from Steve Daw there. Just as I'm saying he's going to ride out wide, he cuts in hard and tight and gets through a gap that didn't look like it was even there. So as we see the checkered flag go for the first time for the 350s, it's going to be a race win for Mitch Godden. Steve Daw gets second place, and Lee Street finishing in third, and this battle for fourth is going to be won by Paul Orton, but only just from John Shane. Oh, the first leg of the 350s, the win for number 9, that's Mitch Godden. In second place, number 110, Steve Daw. Third place, number 75, that's Lee Street. Fourth place, number 186, Paul Orton. Fifth place, number 193, John Shanes. Sixth place, number 5, Adrian Kessel. And seventh place, number 94, Kevin Francis. The winning time, 127.37. 127.37, that winning time, as we move on to the first of the 500cc. And I apologise for this, but I've got quite a few additions to give you, which you will see coming out in these races. If you can squeeze them into where we've got the points charts, at the top of the page I've managed to squeeze in number 200 Matthew Brown, number 3 Mark Dimmer, and number 7 Gary Lobb. So squeeze those three in at the top. I've got a lot of other riders as well which will squeeze in at the bottom. I think as we've already got the riders on the line. No, yellow flag still up, so let's give you a few more. Number 230 is Andy Parker. Number 16, Dean Garton. Number 49, John Pilcher. And 7, we will slot them into. We go then with the first race of the Open 350s, where they got 3 point scoring rides to get themselves into that big final at the end of the day. And at the moment it's Gary Lobb that's got the start, but Gary Phelps comes through the inside of him. Andy Parker right up there with him as well, trying to go for that inside line on this bottom bend. Gary Lobb has chosen the wider line to go round the outside, but Gary Phelps it is that's got the front race lead as he goes around this bottom bend. All three of them come together again as they come into this top bend. You've got Andy Parker on the inside, Gary Phelps in the middle, Gary Lobb on the outside, picking up everybody else's third. Mark Dimmer is up in fourth place at the moment, but those three at the front really hard, fighting it out right to the line. As you can see, Gary Phelps looks to have it sewn up, but Andy Parker comes around tight off that bottom bend, drives through up the inside of that back straight and gets himself to the front. Again, Gary Lobb trying to attack around the outside, but Andy Parker it is that leads coming past me into the last lap this time. Gary Lobb moves up into second place, so Gary Phelps now having to do all the work. He's back in third spot. Stays on the back wheel of Gary Lobb though as they go up that back straight. And as the mud starts to fly, it is Andy Parker that's got the lead, but look at Gary Lobb closing down on him. Oh, Gary goes very wide on this top bend. There's a lot of space up there, and there goes the checker flag for a first race win for Andy Parker this afternoon. Gary Lobb takes second. Gary Phelps gets third. Number 2, Anthony Bugord gets to fourth place. What a terrific start to the day for Andy Parker. Most certainly made that not an easy ride. He had to work hard for it. For number 230, that's Andy Parker. In second place, number 7, Gary Lobb. Third place, the early leader, number 84, Gary Phelps. And fourth place, number 2, Anthony Bugord. In fifth place, and number 3. In sixth place, number 174. Seventh place, number 49. Eighth place, 133. Ninth place, 62. 10th place, 274. And 11th place, number 34. The winning time, 1:21.56, 1:21.56. Equal or better that time in race 6. We stay with the 351 to 500s. And my apologies if you didn't catch all those additions to this event. I'll quickly go back over them while we're waiting for the start of race 6. I gave you 179 Simon Gittings as an addition, 23 Mike Trevitt is an addition, 26 John Can, 49 John Pilcher, 16 Dean Garton and 230 Andy Parker, who we've just seen. As we get underway, making a very quick start on the far side is Steve Daw as he goes into that first bend. One of those additions I was talking of, Dean Garton goes round the outside. So Dean Garton it is that tries to get around the outside of Steve Daw, but that's going to take some doing. Mitch Godden is right up there in 3rd place with Simon Gittings holding 4th with him at the moment. Those two together for that 3rd and 4th place. Steve Daw has gone very wide, but he seems to have got away with it as he's come around that back straight, opening up quite a gap now. The very spectacular start of Steve Daw. I'm sure he's going to win a few pounds this afternoon the way he's riding that top bend. But Dean Garton running away in 2nd place, trying to close that gap down. Mitch Godden still there in 3rd place. Simon Gittings not happy with things at the moment in 4th. Mitch looks over his shoulder, knows that Simon Gittings is there. But as we go into this top bend for the 3rd time, they'll see the last lap flag as they come past me. It is Steve Daw that looks over his shoulder. Got the race in control at the moment. Dean Garton still there in 2nd, Mitch Godden in 3rd, Simon Gittings in 4th. And he's one of our additions, number 200, Matthew Brown, that's leading the battle of the rest of the riders as the checkered flag goes for the front runners though, and Steve Daw takes it. Dean Garton in 2nd, Mitch Godden comes across the line in 3rd place, and Simon Gittings finishes in 4th. Result a win for number 110, that's Steve Daw. In 2nd place, number 16, Dean Garton. 3rd place, number 9, Mitchell Godden, and 4th place, number 179, Simon Gittings. 5th place there, number 143, Keith Richards, and 6th place, number 200, Matthew Brown. 7th place, number 36, 8th place, number 198. 9th place, 17, 10th place, 284, and the winning time, 1:22 exactly, 1:22.00. And as we look to Heat 3 of the 500cc solo, already got them on the line. And away we go as they go down that back straight. Number 117, Marcus Lisson has got to the front as he comes down past me. Great to see Marcus back on the grass track again. Number 23, Mike Trevitt, is the rider that's gone with him. We lost one of our riders on the start line by the look of it, but back after quite a long layoff, number 117, Marcus Lisson. Great to see him out again. And over his shoulder. I know I did take the cheek to put in the press a few weeks ago that, as I'm saying that, I'm just about to say that Marcos won one of our events something like 10 years ago. He's had a long layoff and now come back to the sport. So we're allowed to say that's just a technical error there. Quickly remembering how it's all done again. He's had a taste of the dirt, so we'll probably go a little bit better now. Number 23, Mike Trevitt, taking the race lead after that fall from Marcus Lisson. Jeff Urban is up in 2nd place, and Marcus now has got himself back into 3rd spot. Oh, as I say that, he's put it down again on this bottom corner. So as we look to the far side, we've got a checkered flag being made ready for number 23. That's Mike Trevitt, who's going to come round and take the race win. Mike Trevitt. In 2nd place, number 241, Jeff Urban. In 3rd place, number 47, Chris Coles. 4th place, number 330, Robin Wright. And 5th place, number 272, Bill Vallis. No other finishes there. The winning time 1:31.26. 1:31.26, that winning time of the sidecars. An addition is Rick Colvin, so we should be seeing 7 outfits come to the 7. Not very often we see that, is it? But there we are, 7 it should be. And I can only see 6. Always out to prove me wrong, aren't they? So away we go then with the first sidecar race of the afternoon, and it is Phil Pitman and Miles Simmons that have made the best of the starts as they go into that first bend. Rob Wilson up in second place at the moment as the rest of the field gets very, very close in that first bend. But it is Phil Pitman and Miles Simmons that come into this bottom bend, leading the field. They've chosen to go very wide. Rob Wilson has turned it in tighter, but tighter still is number 5, Mick Cave, who's got through on the inside and up to second spot. So Mick Cave and Darren Bartholomew move up into second spot, fighting with it though on that top bend as the back wheel tries to drive out round them. Controls it well, but while he had that little moment, you can see that Phil Pitman and Miles Simmons have moved away from them. Again, they've chosen to go wide on this bottom bend, so they're choosing a much wider circuit, but they're choosing to keep the power on. Rob Wilson and Tony Myles in third place at the moment. Can't make any move on Mick Cave up in second. As they start to open the gaps up, we'll see the last lap flag for them. This time as they come round, it is Phil Pitman that's still leading. Has just one more lap to complete. Mick Cave still holding second after he got through in front of Rob Wilson. Rob again starts to close that gap on Mick Cave. Just one more bend to go. Phil Pitman, interestingly, has still chosen to keep that wide line. He's almost out on yesterday's circuit, but he comes towards the checkered flag and he takes the race win. Mick Cave gets second, Rob Wilson gets third place. Mark and Rob Sarax finish in fourth place, with our additions number 112, Rick Colvin and Matthew Dix taking fourth. Then for the 1000cc sidecars, their first heat this afternoon, a win for number 90, Phil Pitman and Miles Simmons. In second place, number 5, Mick Cave and passenger Darren Bartholomew. In third place, number 24, Rob Wilson and Tony Myles. Fourth place, number 16, Mark and Rob Sarax. In fifth place, number 112, Rick Colvin and Matthew Dix. Sixth place, number 52, that's Terry Phillips and Chris Spires. Winning time, 136.74. 136.74, that winning time. So, race 9 it is that we got sitting on the line as they get underway. All these riders out for the first time this afternoon. Royce Bredbury pulling that wheel up in the air as he comes past us, but it's Mark Edwards that's got to that first bend. Mark Edwards and Nick Waters to the front, then in front of Royce Bredbury and Steve Kensington. Down the back straight, trying to open the gaps up between them and third place. Mark Edwards, having seen Phil Pitman go wide, looks as if he's going to do the same thing on this bottom bend. He goes wide and just about gets away with it that time. Royce Bredbury got very, very close to him though, as he took the very tight inside line. Andy Simon and Sean Yates up in third place at the moment as they go down the back straight, losing a bit of ground from the front two. So this is going to be an interesting bend. Will Mark Edwards try and hold it tight? He does exactly that this time. He forces Royce Bredbury to take the wide line, and now he's gained an advantage that he certainly wanted to on that bottom bend. Oh, terrific turn from Mark Edwards and Nick Waters. And I wonder if now he's made up his decision on how he's going to tackle this bottom bend. Throws it in hard, gets the back wheel out very, very early. Oh, just about middle of the bend that time, so obviously looks to be a very quick line. Problems for Andy Simons pulling off into the centre by the look of it. Means that Paul Nelson now moves up into third place. Oh, Andy Simons has got the machinery going again, so I don't quite know what that problem was. But as we look to the checker flag going out, it's first race victory for Mark Edwards and Nick Waters. Royce Bredbury and Steve Kensington take second place, and it's going to be Paul Nelson and passenger Lawrence Matthews who take third place. It was the second heat of the sidecars first leg, and a win for outfit number 8, Mark Edwards and Nick Waters. In second place, number 43, that's Royce Bredbury and Steve Kensington. In third place, number 18, Paul Nelson and Lawrence Matthews. Fourth place, number 93, Andy Simmons and Sean Yates. Fifth place, number 116, is of course Aubrey Steele and Paul Pike. The winning time, 135.05, 135.05. And it looks as if they are actually showing indications to go without them. Or are they? Yeah, the starters are calling them into line. So 5 outfits only, and away we go. John Hiscock on this outside, whether that's going to be any advantage going into this first bend. Tim Bennett has made a good start from the centre. Richard Thomas is right up there as well. Richard Thomas dives into that first bend in front. So yesterday's sidecar winner, Richard Thomas and Kevin Woodley, get to the front as they go down that back straight. John Hiscock goes after them as they go into this bottom corner for the first time. Now, Richard, of course, has had the experience of riding the circuit yesterday, and has he gone for the same line as he chose yesterday? Looks as if he has, even though we've turned that bend in a little bit. John Hiscock right up there with him. Tim Bennett losing out that third place, dropping back to fourth. But as he looks to the front, it's John Hiscock that's putting the pressure on to try and close up on Richard Thomas and Kevin Woodley. Oh, a good race this for Richard Thomas at the moment. John Hiscock desperately trying to find a way through. Dave Steer is up in third place at the moment. Change of passenger for Dave Steer this afternoon. Andy Orchard unfortunately injured, but in his place comes Colin Hill. And it looks as if Chris Toole has got going as well. He appears from the pits. But still the race lead with Richard Thomas and Kevin Woodley. John Hiscock and Matt Sleep still in second place. Dave Steer's got a little bit closer to them, but don't think we're going to see any changes of places as they come up past me towards the checkered flag. So it is going to be a first race victory for Richard Thomas and Kevin Woodley. John Hiscock hangs on to that second place as Dave Steer gets mighty close to him, and Tim Bennett finishes in fourth. So the result of race 10, third leg of the third heat of the first leg of the sidecars, a win for number 60. That is, of course, Richard Thomas and Kevin Woodley. My apologies there if he's in the programme as 63, but his race number is 60. In second place, number 184, John Hiscock and Matt Sleep. In third place, number 17, that's Dave Steer, and this afternoon passengered by Colin Hill. And in fourth place, number 12, Tim Bennett and Steve Hargreaves. Fifth place there was number 61, Justin Holyfield and passenger John Hudson. The winning time, 1:35.99. He wants you on the tapes, not sitting back 3 or 4 yards behind. So message passed on, hopefully understood as we get underway with race 11. John Halsey it is has made a very good start and got into that first bend in first place. So John Halsey and Jason Glenie starting off with a race lead as they go down the back straight. They've got Roger Measor and Shane Lapham right up behind them though, and this is going to be interesting on this bottom bend. We've seen what a lot of the sidecar crews have been doing now on that bottom bend. It is very, very tight. And as John Halsey goes into this top bend, Roger follows him in. It'll be a game of cat and mouse as they go into this bottom bend. John Halsey at the moment will have the pressure because he's got to make the decisions on what line he takes, whether he stays wide or pulls it in tight. He's chosen to go tight, so Roger just follows him round, cuts across the dirt line and comes wide up this straight. Now that in theory should mean that Roger will go in much, much wider on the top bend. He'll try and get a much quicker line down that back straight, so we should see them close up down the back straight. But John Halsey and Jason Glenie riding well at the moment and keeping well and truly ahead of Roger Measor and Shane Lapham. Duncan told us it is in third spot at the moment in front of Chris Hall and passenger Sean Chick. As we look to the front, they've just got one more bend to go as John Halsey and Jason Glenie stay tight on the inside of that bottom bend. Roger Measor again goes very, very wide. Very wide indeed as the checkered flag goes. He finishes in second place. Duncan Tolhurst and passenger Mark Langmaid finish in third. Chris Hall and Sean Chick picking up fourth spot. Win for number 13, that's John Halsey and Jason Glenie. In second place, number 51, Roger Measor and Shane Lapham. Third place, number 74, Duncan Tolhurst and passenger for this afternoon, Mark Langmaid. In fourth place, number 96, Chris Hall and Sean Chick. The winning time, 1:36.02. 1:36.02. So away we go then with this, the start of the second leg rise, race 12 in your programme, and looking to see how they get themselves sorted out in that first bend. It is indeed John Pilcher that leads, coming down past me for the first time. Richard. Richard Simmons it is, that's up in second place, but getting away from them is John Pilcher, number 49. He's opened up quite a gap between him and second place as they come round off that top end. Richard looking to almost take it very, very casually. Keith Richards in third place at the moment, number 143. The gaggle of riders obviously conscious that we saw a bit of water go down, so taking it very, very cagily. And as the last lap flag goes out, it looks as if it's going to be a comfortable victory for John Pilcher in this the second ride for the 250s. Richard Sims, not being able to close down on him at all. Keith Richards not being able to close that gap between second and third. And as he now starts to pick off some of the tail enders, John Pilcher is going to come round to take his first race victory this afternoon as he sees that checkered flag being made ready for him. It is John Pilcher, number 49, that takes it. And Richard Sims comes across the line for second place. And third place looks as if it's going to change because number 201, Phil Pitman, he finishes in third spot. First of the second leg rise, and with the 250 class, a win for number 49, that's John Pilcher. In second place, number 180, Richard Sims. Third place, number 201, Phil Pitman. Fourth place, number 143, Keith Richards. And fifth place, number 137, Michael Peters. Sixth place then, number 5, and seventh place, number 57. Eighth place, number 50. Ninth place, number 330. The winning time, 138.25, 138.25. And for all the solo competitors, I mentioned that somebody's very kindly come in and given us some money for the fastest time of the day for the sidecars. Equally, a very keen spectator has said, well, put something on the solos as well, so I've got another crisp £10 note here for the fastest time for the solos. Now, if anybody else is that way inclined, one thing that we always do at Basingstoke, weather and time permitting, as it says in the back of the programme, is put on a sidecar and solo handicap. So if you're enjoying the racing this afternoon, you might listen for me a bit later on, appealing to entice the riders into that handicap by putting up some dosh. Well, we go into that first bend of race 13 and looking for those two first heat winners, and both of them are right up there in the front. Garton has made the best of it. Number 33, Richard Smith, has gone up into second. Adrian Skirl is back in third place and looks to be losing that third to Keith Strudwick at the moment. Keith Strudwick and Adrian Skirl fighting for that third place, but it's Mitch Godden that's taken the lead. Richard Smith going after him in that top end, but Mitch Godden turning the power on, and he does look as if he's well and truly in. Well, I've just been corrected by my lap scorers, and obviously my apologies to the Phillips clan, because of course that is Chris Phillips out in front. Well, you'll see Mitch Godden later on, and you'll see that the letters do look the same. I should look at the number plates really, shouldn't I? But Chris Phillips, it is on the 250. And Richard Smith still there in second place. Adrian Skirl, who had that early heat win, up in third spot, going very, very wide on this bottom bend. Obviously not happy with the approach to that bottom bend. That's Chris Phillips, who had a race win his first time out. Coming round this time to see his second checkered flag of the afternoon. Chris Phillips takes it. Richard Smith in second place. Keith Strudwick just hanging on to that third spot in front of Adrian Skirl. A win for number 142, Chris Phillips. Got her in the end, didn't we? In second place, number 33, Richard Smith. In third place, number 124, Keith Strudwick. In fourth place, number 32, Adrian Skirl. And fifth place, number 162, Steve Surratt. In sixth place, number 1. Seventh place, number 118. Eighth place, number 58. Ninth place, 94. And 10th place, 86. The winning time, 130.97, 130.97. We turn our attention to the quads once again. And We've been informed that Richard Seal, that's riding number 1, is in fact riding a 250 this afternoon, not as I gave you earlier that he was riding a 500. So Richard Seal, number 1 on the smaller 250. So the 350 Banshee of Steve Hawkins, the early race leader, he of course had a win first time out, but he's classified as over 250cc, so effectively 2 races going on while you can see the competitors out there. The 251 is 500, that 350 Banshee, but maybe a 250 can stay with him. Richard Seal desperately trying to indeed stay with him. Mark Treadwell is up in 3rd place as we see it. That's effectively 2nd place in the 250s. Tony Nash in 3rd place in the 250s, and now Richard Seal shows that he can get his little 250 in front of that 350 Banshee and takes over the overall race lead. Into the last lap as they come past me this time. Richard of course had a win first time out in this 250 class, once we found out that he had a 250. Steve Hawkins is saying, well, this could be a tad embarrassing, then he ought to try and get this race win back. But Richard Seal looks over his shoulder, looks quite comfortable as he goes into this last bend. It's going to be the checker flag for him this time as he comes round. And as he comes towards that checker flag, it's going to be his 2nd ride and 2nd win. Steve Hawkins finishing in 2nd place, Mark Treadwell finishing in 3rd, and Tony Nash in 4th. All rider number 1, Richard Seal. In 2nd place, number 46, Steve Hawkins. 3rd place, number 9, Mark Treadwell. 4th place, rider number 3, that's Tony Nash. And 5th place, number 2, Richard Newton. The winning time, 129.98. 129.98. Looking across that far side at the start line, starter obviously not happy with 1 or 2 riders not coming right to the tapes, but now they let them go, and it is Mitch Garton from the centre of that start line that gets away. Lee Street has gone after him. Steve Daw is right there with Lee Street as those two together go into that first bend. But Steve Daw got the better of Lee Street and gets up into 2nd, goes after Mitch Garton as they come past me. Those two almost together, but Mitch Garton in full flight. He flies past me and goes into this bottom bend very, very wide. It allows Steve Daw to try and get in on the inside of him, but as the bike skews sideways, he just has to follow Mitch Godden round. Lee Street losing touch with those two at the moment as the gap starts to grow. Mitch Godden certainly looking in good form on this 350 this afternoon. Steve Daw, head down, he knows there's a few boulders coming up with that dirt on the back wheel of Mitch Godden, so try and stay inside the dirt line. And on that bottom corner he crosses over, follows Mitch up the hill, and really is this top bend that I think that Steve Daw will try and get some sort of close up on Mitch Godden. He's very, very quick on that top bend. So credit once again to Mitch Godden. He still leads. Lee Street still there in 3rd. A battle going on for this 4th place again between John Shames and Paul Orton. Adrian Kessel up in 5th place. As we look to the far side, they're preparing the checker flag once again. It looks as if there's going to be 2 rides and 2 wins for rider number 9, Mitch Garton as he crosses the line. Steve Daw gets 2nd place. Lee Street once again finishing in 3rd. Official result of the 2nd leg ride of the 350cc event. A win for rider number 9, Mitchell Garton. In 2nd place, number 110, Steve Daw. 3rd place, number 75, Lee Street. 4th place, number 193, John Shames. Place, number 186, Paul Orton, and 6th place, number 5, Adrian Kessel. 7th place there, number 94, Kevin Francis. The winning time, 128 exactly, 128.00. John Pilt 500cc solo event. If we got any of our first leg winners. The additional riders coming into this one. Gary Phelps has made the best of the starts. Dean Garton goes with him. Coming to that first bend, it is Gary Phelps has got the lead as he comes off that top corner. Well, Mark Dimmer has moved up there as well. He's got up into second place. Mark Dimmer just edges in front of Dean Garton as they go down that back straight, and Mark Dimmer now closing up on Gary Phelps. So watch to see what happens in this top bend. As Mark Dimmer pulls it inside, watches Gary Phelps go wide. He'll be looking for a line on the inside, crosses over and comes wide past me. So a wide entry into this bottom bend could give Mark Dimmer the lead, and indeed it does as he goes into that bottom bend. Crosses over the racing line of Gary Phelps, but Gary will have a very quick line down the back straight and gets that lead back again. Now these two having a good scrap at the front of the field. Dean Garton has lost touch with those two a little bit, but he just watches what's going on in front of him. As Gary Phelps looks over his shoulder, he wonders where the attack's going to come from. And again you can see that Mark Dimmer will go in slightly wider in this bottom bend. He'll try and pull it in hard and get a line up the inside, but Gary has certainly got an excellent line up that back straight. It's going to take a lot for Mark Dimmer to actually catch him coming out on those tactics, but he wants to come out the top bend. It will be the checkered flag this time. So with one lap of race victory now, Gary Phelps on the third first time out takes the race win and continues his drive to get himself into that final. A win for number 84, that's Gary Phelps. In second place, number 3, Mark Dimmer. Third place, number 16, Dean Garton. Fourth place, number 36, Mike Topless. Fifth place, number 49, John Pilcher. And sixth place, number 133, Pete Barnaby. In seventh place, number 26, John Can. And eighth place, number 284. Ninth place was 62. 10th place, 274. And the winning time, 128.01. 128.01, that winning time. As we look to race 17, already coming to the line, we suspect that Gary Lobb will be an addition in this one. He's joined also by Andy Parker. In fact, Gary Lobb and Andy Parker lined up together in the centre of that start line. Problems fitting them all on the line. Eventually, Mark Habgood does find a place on the start line as we get underway. It looks as if Gary Lobb has made the best of the starts as he gets to that first bend first. Andy Parker goes after him and gets close to his back wheel as he comes into the middle of that bend. But Gary Lobb looks superb coming off that top bend, and Andy Parker just watches him go away from him. Matthew Tyrrell is up in third place. He cuts across the inside of that bottom bend, but Gary Lobb has time to look over his shoulder because he knows he's opened up a bit of an advantage between him and second place, Andy Parker. Matthew Tyrrell still leads that battle for the rest of the field. He's up in third spot. Well, Gary Lobb certainly looks to be in good form this afternoon. He had a second place first time out, so a second and a first is going to do his point scoring no harm whatsoever. Bend and into the last lap. It is Gary Lobb that still leads, but Andy Parker is starting to get close to him now. He's taken a different line and he's gone in very, very tight on this bottom bend. Well, he's certainly closed that gap up dramatically in the middle of that third lap. And with just one more corner to go, I wonder if he's going to have an attack on this last bend to try and take the race win. But Gary Lobb looks as if he's got it well and truly under control as he comes towards us. Gary Lobb takes it. Andy Parker gets second. Matthew Tyrrell's going to come round and take this third spot. Seeing a win there for Gary Lobb, his first this afternoon. That's rider number 7. In second place, number 230, Andy Parker. Third place, number 198. That, of course, is Matthew Tyrrell. And fourth place, number 200, Matthew Brown. Fifth place, number 241, Jeff Urban. Sixth place, number 143, Keith Richards. Seventh place, number 34, Ian Stroud. And eighth place, number 330, Robin Wright. The winning time, 128.27. 128.27. First leg wins in the 500 class. Steve Daw, number 110, and Mike Trevitt both go in this one. They had race wins. Trying to to get them all in line, and away they go as we look to the far side. It's Simon Gittings that looks to have made the best of the start. Steve Daw and Anthony Bugard come through on the inside though as they get into that first bend. Steve Daw has got to the front. Simon Gittings is going incredibly wide. Anthony Bugard has come through on the inside. Mitch Garton up the inside as well. So they dive into this bottom bend. Anthony Bugard has gone very, very wide. He's allowed Mitch Godden to come through on the inside of him. Mitch riding a very tight line on that bottom bend. Simon Gittings trying to get close to Anthony Bugard for that third place. But while all that's going on, Steve Daw has got away. And he's flying around this top bend. Steve Daw, of course, the winner of this trophy last year, looking to come here and retain it. And he looks as if he's come in very determined mood. Mitch Garden still there in second place. Anthony Bugard still in third place. Simon Gittings holding fourth, and as the gap starts to open up, Steve Daw is certainly travelling a heck of a pace, and he now starts to pick off some of the tail enders. One more lap to go in this particular heat. He had a win first time out, and I wonder what sort of time he's going to put up this time, because he does look to me to be absolutely flying. Well, into the last bend he goes. Lost Anthony Bugard on that bottom corner. We look to the checkered flag, and it's 2 rides and 2 wins for the flying Steve Daw. Mitch Godden gets second place behind him. Simon Gittings is going to come in for this third spot. As Mike Trevitt takes the fourth place. 6 of the sidecar event. Sidecar, not onto that yet, are we? The 500cc solo, a win for number 110, Steve Daw. His second win of the afternoon, and a very quick one it was. In second place, number 9, Mitch Godden. In third place, number 179, Simon Gittings. In fourth place, number 23, Mike Trevitt. In fifth place, number 193, John Shanes. In sixth place, number 174, Robin Pilcher. Seventh place, number 2, that's Anthony Bugard. And eighth place, number 47. Ninth place, number 272. 10th place, 71. The winning time, 119.66. 119.66. As we turn back to the 1000cc sidecars, looking at the race 19, of course, Mark Edwards and Nick Walters, they'll go in this one, who had a race win first time out. Phil Pitman and Miles Simmons also had a race win. It's those two crews that are together going into that first bend. They together come out of that first bend. Mark Edwards has got the wide line, Phil Pitman on the inside. Now this bottom bend is going to be interesting, because Phil Pitman and Miles Simmons decided to take a wide line on this bottom bend. They've now been watching the rest of the heats, and this time they come in much, much tighter. Come out wide past me, and Mark Edwards has to tuck in on the inside. Tim Bennett and Steve Hargraves up in third place at the moment. As we look to the front, Phil Pitman and Miles Simmons look to be getting away as they go down that back straight. They look to be in very good form this afternoon. Mark Edwards and Nick Walters, I'm sure, will try and pull it tight on this bottom bend to get an angle up this finishing straight. They do just that, but of course they've not got the speed on. Phil Pitman with enough power on to be able to keep his momentum and actually keep that lead from Mark Edwards. It looks as if Mark had slowed in the middle of that bend. As we see the last lap flag being prepared for Phil Pitman and Miles Simmons, they really do look to be in terrific form at the moment. Mark Edwards and Nick Walters, who equally have been winning some big nationals this year, don't look to have an answer to them at the moment. Aubrey still looks over his shoulder and sees the race winners coming past him as they go around this bottom bend, again looking to go very, very wide. They take the checkered flag, their second ride and their second win. Outfit number 90, Phil Pitman and Miles Simmons. And a win for rider number 90, that's Phil Pitman, and passenger Miles Simmons. That's their second ride and second win. In second place, it was Mark Edwards and Nick Walters, outfit number 8. In third place, number 12, Tim Bennett and Steve Hargreaves. In fourth place, number 61, Justin Holyfield and passenger John Hudson. In fifth place, number 116, Aubrey Steele and Paul Pike. The winning time, 1:35.93. 1:35.93, that winning time. and John Hiscock, Chris Hall and Andy Simmons. Well, interesting perhaps that Roger Measor has taken this very wide outside line. Five outfits on the line. For those of you that aren't aware, Brett Osborne, number 73, was due to be a starter today, but rode here yesterday and unfortunately seized an engine, so not able to take part today, and there are serious question marks over the rest of the season now, unfortunately. But as we get underway with race 20, it's Roger Measor and Shane Lapham that get to the front. John Hiscock has gone with them as they get into that first bend. They go down the back straight. There's a change for that second spot as we look to see them come round past us. Roger Measor and Shane Lapham got the lead, but there's a battle going on for that second place. It's Mick Cave that's got up in the second. Passenger this afternoon, my Dean Bartholomew, as he goes very, very wide on that top end. John Hiscock very unlucky to have to go wide there. If he was able to pull it tight, I'm sure there'd have been a way through on that top end. He'd already committed himself to go wide. As we look to see them come round off this bottom bend, Roger Measor drives hard again, goes very, very wide. Mick Cave still there in second, but John Hiscock still very, very close. And this time he allows him to drift wide, looks for that inside line, so he'll possibly be faster coming off that top bend down the back straight. But Roger Measor opening up the gaps all the time. We'll see the last lap flag this time as he comes round. Mick Cave still there in second. John Hiscock not being able to get that second place from Mick Cave. He's still been right on the back wheel of Mick Cave. Looks very quick this time as he goes down the back straight, but I don't think there's going to be enough to get through as they come off that bottom bend. Roger Measor and Shane Lapham are going to take the race win. They had a second first time out, so that's completed a second and a first. And John Hiscock not able to make that second, has to be content with a third place. Shane Lapham. In second place, number 5, Mick Cave and Dean Bartholomew. In third place, number 184, John Hiscock and Matt Sleep. And fourth place, number 96, Chris Hall and Sean Chick. The winning time, 1:35.82, 1:35.82, that winning time. The full lineup once again. Richard Thomas and Kevin Woodley, of course, who had a win first time out. John Halsey and Jason Glenie. So we've seen Phil Pitman and Mark Edwards come together, and now we see Richard Thomas and John Halsey up against each other in race 21. Both of them having race victories first time out. Problems at the moment getting that start line sorted out. Starter happy, the tapes go up and away we go. Oh, Richard Thomas having a nasty moment there as John Halsey gets a very good start. Rob Wilson in there as well, goes after John Halsey, so Richard Thomas back in third place at the moment, and it is John Halsey that screams away down that back straight. Rob Wilson and Tony Myles up there with him, but Richard Thomas not losing track of those front runners as he closes right up on the inside of that bottom bend, and if there's a gap in left there, I'm sure he's going to go through it. He gets through on the inside of Rob Wilson. Rob Wilson desperately trying to come back at him as he goes into this top bend. John Halsey not knowing of the action that's going on behind him. There's a great scrap going on for that second place, but it is John Halsey and Jason Glenie that have got away. Again we see them getting very, very close in this bottom bend. Rob Wilson forced to go wide. Richard Thomas looking for the gap on the inside. He's got to now try and turn the power on to make sure that he gets that sidecar in front of Rob Wilson. Going into this top bend, all sorts of problems for Rob Wilson as Richard Thomas turned in very, very tight on that top bend. Rob Wilson not taking the advantage, so he had to go off the circuit to avoid him, but he's let him go and indeed moves back into that third spot. Well, as they come round towards us, it's the last lap flag this time, and indeed Richard Thomas now getting close to John Halsey. So he holds this bottom bend very, very tight. We could see an attack on this last lap to try and get the race victory. Remember, both these two crews at the front had race victories first time out. John Halsey goes into that last bend leading, looking to get his second win. Richard Thomas and Kevin Woodley again try and drive in harder and get close. Rob Wilson looking to get through the inside as well, but it's a race victory for John Halsey. Richard Thomas gets second, Rob Wilson gets third. Number 13, and that's John Halsey and Jason Glenie, their second win this afternoon from 2 rides. And in second place, number 60, Richard Thomas and Kevin Woodley. Third place, number 24, Rob Wilson and Tony Myles. Fourth place, number 74, Duncan Tolhurst and Mark Langmaid. Fifth place, number 16, Mark and Rob Saraks. In sixth place, number 112, Rick Colvin and Matthew Dix. The winning time, 1:36.70. 1:36.70, that winning time. We've seen all 4 crews that had race wins first time out. So as we look to race 22, will we see a win for Royce Bradbury perhaps, who had a second place first time out, Dave Steer, who had a third place first time out, and Paul Nelson also, who had a third. As we get underway, 4 outfits only in this one. It is Dave Steer on the inside, but Terry Phillips has made the best of the starts. Dave Steer's going right up that inside, so as we lose Paul Nelson into the centre field, it is Terry Phillips and Chris Myers that have got away. Dave Steer and Colin Hill this afternoon in second place. Royce Bradbury trying to go around the outside of Dave Steer, looking to close up on Terry Phillips. And as he's gone wide, Dave Steer is trying to get up the inside. Terry looks across his shoulder. He knows that Dave Steer is there on the inside. He closes the door but leaves the gap on the end of the bend. And there goes through Dave Steer and Colin Hill. Into the front of the field as Terry Phillips now knows he's got Royce Bradbury chasing after him as well. If he goes wide to try and take Dave Steer, he'll leave a gap on the inside for Royce Bradbury, and that's exactly what's happened. Royce Bradbury now goes through. Dave Steer leading left from Royce Bradbury, who now looks to be getting closer in that second place. Now he's not past Terry Phillips as he goes down that back straight. Drives in very, very hard on this bottom bend. He's committed himself to go much, much wider, and as he drives round hard off that bottom bend, Dave Steer must just button down and keep it going as he goes into the last lap. Royce Bradbury again has chosen to go wide. He's looking for that quicker, faster line on the top bend into that bottom straight. This is where he should be driving quicker down that back straight, but good acceleration from Dave Steer. Again, Royce Bradbury has committed himself to go wide, tries to drive round the outside. It's a long, long way round, but it's going to be close to the line for these two. Dave Steer just on the line. Royce Bradbury very, very close to him, but I think the victory did go to Dave Steer and Colin Hill. Win for rider number 17, just on the line, Dave Steer and Colin Hill. In second place, number 43, Royce Bradbury and Steve Kensington. In third place, number 52, Terry Phillips and Chris Spires, and fourth place, number 18, Paul Nelson and Lawrence Matthews. The winning time was 1:36.80, 1:36.80. So we're already underway with race 23 in the programme as we move into the third leg rides, and this with the 250 class as they get to that first corner. You can see that Keith Strodrick has made a very good start. He's got to that first bend. Keith Strodrick, number 124, on 23 points overall, so I think we're going to see him in the final, particularly if he can hold on to this win in this third ride. But Chris Phillips, number 142, was moving up in the second place. Indeed, we lost Keith on that bottom corner. Well, Squirrel taking over the lead, but I can see we've got a red flag. Obviously, bike and rider still on the circuit. Clark of the course deciding in the interest of safety that it would be better to stop the race. Before he came to this ride, he's top of the point scoring chart on the maximum 28 points. So what can the restart do for them as they get underway? Looks as if Chris has missed the start again, so we're looking to see who's made the best of it, and I do think it is Keith Strodwick that's right up there. John Pilcher, I think that is, the start to the front. Check that for you as they come round. Chris Phillips works his way through the field brilliant now in that first bend. A terrific first bend for Chris Phillips, as it was John Pilcher that got to the front. Adrian Squirrel back in fourth place for the moment, trying to move his way through as well. Keith Strodwick still there in second, and looks as if we've lost John Pilcher on that bottom bend. Indeed, it looks as if we do have another stopped race. Start of the course again, seeing the machinery and rider have stayed on the circuit. Full leg of the 250 still, this heat 6 of the 250 event. They come round off that top bend, it is indeed number 162. And of course, it's Steve Syrett that's got the lead. Richard Smith up in second place at the moment as they go down that back straight, with Steve Syrett setting the pace. Well, this last ride, but certainly going very, very well. Richard Smith goes after him in second. Richard Sims, the rider, in third place at the moment. Well, perhaps getting a little bit spread out, but Richard Smith possibly starting to close on the leader as they come into this top bend. One more lap to go, and Richard Smith certainly is a lot closer to Steve Syrett as they come past me. The two of them almost together as they go into this bottom bend. Steve Syrett tries to close the gap as he goes around that bottom bend. As we go up that back straight, Richard Smith looks for the gap once again. To go into this top bend, Richard Smith has got himself through, and as they see the checker flag, it's going to be a win for Richard Smith. Steve Syrett taking second place, Richard Sims finishing in third. Of the 250cc event. Remember, this race 24, the result of a win for number 33, Richard Smith. In second place, number 62, Steve Syrett. In third place, number 1080, Richard Sims. Fourth place, number 1, Toby Golder. In fifth place, number 143, Keith Richards. Sixth place, 201, Lee Pitman. Seventh place, 58. Eighth place, 137. Ninth place, 34. 10th place, 94. And 11th place, 50. The winning time, 129.27. 129.27. Oh, away we go with race 23 in your program, and it is Chris Phillips that once again gets himself to the front. Oh, coming off that first bend, Chris Phillips in excellent form this afternoon. Adrian Squirrel tries to go after him, moves up into second. Keith Strudwick's up there as well. Bill Sims up in fourth place at the moment. And all eyes, I'm sure, on Chris Phillips. He is making this 250 cars look like there's problems for Keith Strudwick. Keith Strudwick has problems on the far side. I can see a hand go down to the engine, but he doesn't look to be going anywhere near as fast as he was. Oh, whether he's managed to get the machinery going again, but certainly doesn't look quite as quick, and it is spluttering as it comes past me. And Chris Phillips still leading the field from Adrian Squirrel in second place. They've opened up quite a gap now between them and Bill Sims in third place. Anxiously watching as Bill Sims looks over his shoulder as well to see whether Keith Strudwick can get into the points, as Adrian Kessel now starts to go round Keith Strudwick. The checker flag will be made ready, so it's going to be a clean sweep to get into the final for Chris Phillips, or is it? There's problems for Chris Phillips as he comes off that last bend. Adrian Squirrel crosses the line. Chris Phillips coasting to the line, jumps off, tries to run to the line to get the top place he can. Bill Sims gets third. Fourth place it's going to be for Chris Phillips. Fifth for Adrian Kessel. Oh, he's having some incredible luck this afternoon. Very intelligent, though, to actually realise that if he jumps off and runs as quick as he possibly can, he's going to get a higher place, and I feel sure that he's still got enough points to get into the final. 23, a win for rider number 32, Adrian Squirrel. In second place, number 118, that's Bill Sims, and in third place, number 142, that of course is Chris Phillips. In fourth place, number 5, Adrian Kessel. In fifth place, number 124, Keith Strudwick. In sixth place, number 86. In seventh place, number 57. Eighth place, number 330, and the winning time 128.79. 128.79, that's the winning time. That race 23. Same way they're intended to go. So, away we go with the third ride for the quads. And once again, you're going to see this battle, I think, between Steve Hawkins on that 350 Banshee and Richard Seal on the 250s on the inside. Tony Nash right up there as well in third place at the moment. That's Richard Seal it is that's got the lead from Steve Hawkins, proving once again that perhaps his 250 is just as quick as that 350 Banshee. Mark Treadwell trying to keep on the pace as well. He's in fourth place at the moment. Nash still up there in third place. Richard Hill, his head down coming past me. Makes it look all so easy. Certainly seeing these quads do all sorts of different things. They're such a versatile thing, and I think it's fair to say that sort of after the season field this afternoon, it was because there is a very, very big meeting over in Farm this weekend where droves of them have actually gone over there. So can't blame them. We said that we'd put the event on Sunday and just the invited few come through into Monday. But one thing we do run at Basingstoke is we put these quads on ice during the winter. So if you watch the press for that, it's on a very tiny little circuit, as you can imagine, the indoor ice rinks. And we see another checkered flag go for Richard Hill. That might be something worth bearing in mind for the future. 5, going the way they've always been going. A win for number 1 for Richard Hill. In second place, number 46, Steve Hawkins. In third place, number 3, Tony Nash. Fourth place, number 9, Mark Treadwell. Fifth place, number 2, Richard Newton. The winning time, 129.63. 129.63. So what am I saying? We go over the page. As I find the right bit of paper, we've got the 350 ride to come first. Point situation on the 350s at the moment. Mitch Godden is on maximum points, 2 rides and 2 wins. Steve Daw on 24 points, Lee Street on 22. As they get underway, and as we look to see them go down the back straight, it is Mitchell Godden and Steve Daw that have got away. Lee Street up there in third place, but a battle again for the 350 between Mitchell Godden and Steve Daw. Now as they're competing over 4-leg rides, it does start to get a bit critical for Steve Daw, that if he allows Mitch to get the 3 wins, then that's going to make it hard work for that last ride. So Steve Daw, I'm sure, is conscious that he desperately needs to get this race win. But Mitchell Garton in terrific form this afternoon on this 350. Drives into this bottom bend, knows that Steve Daw is there, just keeps the power on, goes up that back straight and allows Steve Daw just to tuck in behind him. One more lap to go as he comes around past us for this the third time. And Mitchell Garton with 2 wins already goes very, very wide. He found some extra power there, extra grip there. See, we've lost the ride on this bottom bend. The clerk of the course putting the red flag out, deciding in the interest of safety that rider on the bottom bend was right in the racing line. Did a win, he's third this afternoon in the 350s for number 9, Mitch Godden. In second place, number 110, Steve Daw. In third place, number 75, Lee Street. And fourth place, number 186, Paul Orton. Fifth place, number 193, John Chains. And sixth place there, number 5, Adrian Kessel. No time, of course, that one after 3 laps. As we move on now to the 500cc, their final rides before we see them out in that big final.
Round the back.
As we move to this third leg ride, race 27 in your programme, they're already underway, and it's Gary Lobb that's made the best of the stars. Matthew Tyrrell goes after him as they go down that back straight, but Gary Lobb has already got quite the into that top corner. Now he indeed leads as he comes past us. Gary Lobb is on 26 points overall at the moment, so I feel sure that we're going to see him in the final. Sure is the only rider to sit on a maximum in this class so far, but Gary Lobb is right up there with him. And already opening up quite a gap between him and number 174. Robin Pilcher, of course, who's in second place. Matthew Tyrrell in that third spot. But it's going to be the last lap flag already for Gary Lobb. That gives you some idea of how quickly Gary Lobb is travelling. He's opened up quite a gap between him and Robin Filter in second place. Matthew Tyrrell looks over his shoulder, looks to be fairly comfortable in that third place. Matthew Brown holding fourth place at the moment. As we see them going to the last bend, Gary Lobb is going to get maximum points from his third ride. He looks good this afternoon. He takes maximum points. Second win this afternoon, but excellent points scored once again. Number 7 it is that goes in first place, and in second place number 174, that's Robin Pilcher. In third place number 198, Matthew Tyrrell. Fourth place number 200, Matthew Brown. Fifth place number 47, Chris Coles, and sixth place number 272. The winning time 122.48. 122.48. Turn addition to this race is number 23, Mike Trevitt, who's been scoring well this afternoon. As they get underway, we look to that first corner. Mitchell Godden is up to the front as they come around that first bend. Andy Parker has gone to the inside line. Gary Phelps right on the inside of Andy Parker. Mike Trevitt right up there in fourth place, but it's those front three that are trying to sort it out. Mitchell Godden leading from Andy Parker in second. Gary Phelps holding that third place. And problems for Mitchell Godden on the far side. He puts his hand in the air. Mitchell Godden goes out on that far side. Andy Parker now takes over the race lead. Gary Phelps is still there in second place. Mike Topless coming through on the inside of Mike Trevitt to try and take that third spot. As we look down to that bottom corner, it is Andy Parker that's starting to get away. Opened up quite a gap now on Gary Phelps. And there's problems for Andy Parker as well, as that locks up in the middle of that bend. Andy Parker very precariously in the middle of that bend has locked up. It means that Gary Phelps now takes over the lead. So Mike Topless moves up in a second. That battle for that second place though is Mike Trevitt wants to get that second place. Now as they desperately try to get Andy Parker's machinery out of the way, that well-electric locks up that back wheel. It means that Gary Phelps goes on to take the race victory. He sees the checkered flag. Mike Topless gets second place. Mike Trevitt finishing in third. And number 49, John Pilcher, finishing in fourth place. But the result turned out to be a win for number 84, Gary Phelps. In second place, number 36, Mike Topless. In third place, number 23, Mike Trevitt. In fourth place, number 49, that's John Pilcher. And fifth place, number 143, Keith Richards. Sixth place there, number 241, Jeff Urban. And seventh place, 143. Eighth place, 34. And ninth place, 274. The winning time, 123.00. 123 exactly. Oh, away we go with race 29 in your programme. This the last of the qualifying heats for the 500cc. And going into that first bend, it's Dean Garton has got to the front. He's still right up there with him though in second place. Mark Dimmer holding third at the moment. Simon Gittings staying with Mark Dimmer as they both go down past us. You can see almost together. You've got Dean Garton at the front with Steve Daw in second. Oh, Steve Daw, the only rider to have 2 rides and 2 wins in this class. This is the third ride, and he's got to watch Dean Garton stay in front of him as he comes off that top end. Leading at the moment from Steve Daw in second. Anthony Boudlord has gone up into third place in front of Mark Dimmer holding third. As we see them move up that back straight, it is Dean Garton head down going up that back straight, looking for his first race this afternoon. He's on 23 points so far, so this victory would ensure a place in the final. Steve Daw right up there in second, of course. That second is good enough to get into the final. He's had 2 victories already in this class, but I'm sure he'd have loved to have gone into that final on a maximum. And knowing Steve Daw, he's not going to give up as he goes into that last bend. He'll look for the wide line around the outside of Dean Garton. Dean getting caught up with one of the tail enders, and Steve Daw is going to take it. Well, a tremendous ride from Steve Daw. Oh, did I mention there that I didn't think Steve Daw was going to give up? Nice to see that for once a rider proves to be right. It is that takes the race win, but it also means that he's had 3 rides and 3 wins, of maximum points to go into that final. A second place for Dean Garton, who led for so long, number 16. In third place, number 3, In fourth place, number 179. In fifth place, number 133. In sixth place, number 284. Seventh place, 62. Eighth place, 97. And ninth place, 330. The winning time, 119.38. 119.38. Semi-finals for the 1000cc sidecars as we look to race 30. John Halsey goes in this one, who's had a win and a second place. No, he's had 2 wins, in fact, on maximum points. Richard Thomas, I was looking at on 12 points, has had a win and a second place. As we get underway, they quickly come past me. It is Mark Edwards that's got to the front. He's had a win and a second as well. So a good lineup we've got in race 30 as Mark Edwards has made the best of that first bend. John Halsey's up in second place. John Hiscock fighting for that third place at the moment, trying to get up into second as well, as Richard Thomas has gone very, very tight to try and get through into that third spot. It is John Hiscock and Matt Steep that have gone wide and left that gap on the inside. They're trying to get around the outside of John Halsey, and all the time they're leaving the gap on the inside for Richard Thomas to come through. But they maintain that third place at the moment, as Mark Edwards and Nick Walters maintain first place and come off that bottom bend, leading from John Halsey. And there's problems for Richard Thomas. Richard Thomas has stopped in that pit bend. But as we look to the top bend, it is Mark Edwards and Nick Walters that have opened up a bit of a gap now between them and John Halsey and Jason Glenie. John Hiscock not giving up at all, staying right on the back wheel of John Halsey as he again goes into this bottom bend. Looks to go wide and then cuts back across and drives underneath. That was some good riding from John Hiscock. It almost paid dividends there as he cuts across the back line of John Halsey. John Hiscock determined to get this second place. He's trying every tactic he knows to get any ounce of speed. He's cutting backwards and forwards across the circuit. John Halsey must be wondering where he's going to come from next. But as we go towards the checkered flag, it's going to be the second win of the afternoon for Mark Edwards and Nick Walters. John Halsey and Jason Glenie take second. John Hiscock and Matt Steep take third. And it's going to be a fourth place for Chris Hall. Official result reads as a win for number 8, Mark Edwards and Nick Walters. In second place, number 13, John Halsey and passenger Matt Steep. In third place, number 184. No, I got that wrong, haven't I? Number 13, John Halsey and Jason Glenie. In third place, 184, John Hiscock and Matt Steep. And fourth place, number 96, Chris Hall and Sean Chick. The winning time, 131.03. That result, 8:13, 184 and 96. As they come to the line for race 31, looking perhaps for Phil Pitman once again. He's made a terrific start. And as he goes up past us, Tim Bennett has gone up into second place as they go into that first bend. But it is Phil Pitman and Miles Simmons that have got to the front. They've had 2 race victories already this afternoon. This is their third ride, looking to make it maximum points into that semi-final and then hopefully on to that final at the end of the day. They go very, very wide once again as the dust starts to fly in that bottom corner. He gets close for this second place as Duncan Tollers goes through into second spot. Tim Bennett now back in third place as Duncan Tollers has taken that second place. But in this bottom bend it is Phil Pitman and Miles Simmons that are setting the pace, and what a cracking pace they've set this afternoon. 2 rides already, as I say. Duncan Tollers not able to close that gap. Phil Pitman and Miles Simmons look to have got what they believe to be the fastest line around that circuit, and nobody seems to be catching them at the moment as they've got 1 more lap to go in this, the last qualifying ride. We've still got the semi-finals to go, where the semi-finals will in fact be point scoring, and it will be the top points overall and heavy qualifying riders for the final, and in that final just a straight race. Now as we see the checkered flag go, it confirms 3 rides and 3 wins, as we've got all sorts of problems for Tim Bennett in that bottom corner. Victory for outfit number 90, Phil Pitman and Miles Simmons. In second place, number 74, that's Duncan Tolhurst and of course passenger Mark Langmaid. And in third place at number 12, Tim Bennett, Steve Hargreaves, after that coming together in that bottom bend. Fourth place there, number 112, Rick Colvin. The winning time, 134.26. 134.26, that winning time. As we move to race 32, looking to see them come past me for the first time, and it's Dave Sear that's made the best of the starts. Terry Phillips on the inside. Mick Cave right up there in second place, so moves through into that second as he goes into the first bend, but Terry Phillips comes through on the inside. Battle for that second place, but it's Mick Cave that looks to have the edge going with this bottom bend. Dave Steer has got away as he comes around this bottom bend, and of course we're so used to Dave Steer riding such tight lines. Mick Cave still there in second place. Terry Phillips still holding early, looking to go wide. Looking anxiously for a way through. And as Dave Steer and Colin Hill have got the lead well and truly sewn up, I just wonder if this second place is going to stay the same as Terry Phillips has closed right up to Mick Cave. Simmons back there in fourth place. Good to see Andy back on the racing scene again. As we look to this bottom bend, it's going to be the last lap flag for them this time as they come round. Dave Steer and Andy Orchard, who were sitting on 11 points from the first two rides, will get maximum points in this third ride. Terry Phillips has still got through for that second place, but I think we're going to see a challenge from Mick Cave down that back straight. He tries to go around the long way, get round the outside. It's going to be a battle in this last bend for that second place. Mick Cave trying to get right the way around the outside. Terry Phillips has got the inside line. It's going to be close to the line, and it is Terry Phillips that takes it. Mick Cave close to him, but just being pipped for that second spot means he goes back into third. Outfit number 17, that's Dave Steer and passenger for this afternoon, Colin Hill. In second place, number 52, Terry Phillips and Chris Spires. Third place is Mick Cave and passenger Dean Bartholomew. In fourth place, number 93, Andy Simmons and Sean Yates. Fifth place, number 61, and sixth place, number 116. The winning time, 134.62. 134.62. Be working at who goes in what semi-final. And Roger Measor on 12 points at the moment, coming into this ride. And Roy Spreadbury, who's had some tough rides this afternoon, on 10 points. Oh, we watch to see them go and see who's made the best of the start. It is Roger Measor on the inside, Rob Wilson on the outside, and Rob Wilson has got to the front as they go into that first bend. It's gone very, very wide now as Roger Measor comes through. Roy Spreadbury tries to follow it through as well. Indeed, Roy Spreadbury gets up into second place, but it's Roger Measor who's got to the front, tries to turn it in hard, and Roy Spreadbury's gone through on the inside. Well, as Roy Spreadbury goes through, Rob Wilson moves up into third place. Mark and Rob Cyrax in fourth, but this is a good ride from Roy Spreadbury and Steve Kensington as they've got to the front. Roger Measor now back in second place. Rob Wilson still holding third in front of Mike Cyrax, and Rob Cyrax in fourth place. Roy Spreadbury and Steve Kensington, who look to have been getting faster and faster as the afternoon's gone on, now go through in first place. Rob Wilson still there in third place, but allowing that gap to open up between him and Roger Measor. Roger Measor not sure whether he's going to have a go at Steve Kensington and Roy Spreadbury, but as he looks again, he tries to hold that inside line to avoid the mud trail that's coming off the back wheel of Roy Spreadbury. As we look to that far side, it is Roy Spreadbury and Steve Kensington that have now started to open up a gap, and they're very comfortable to come towards this checkered flag. It's going to be the checkered for them this time. That's a good victory for Roy Spreadbury and Steve Kensington. Roger Measor and Shane Lapham get second. Rob Wilson and Tony Myles take third. Mark and Rob Cyrax in fourth. The result of race 33 as we've started to move into the interval. The official result reads as a win for rider number 43. That's Roy Spreadbury and Steve Kensington. In second place, number 51, Roger Measor and Shane Lapham. Third place, number 24, Rob Wilson and Tony Myles. In fourth place, number 16, Mark and Rob Cyrax. In fifth place, number 18, Paul Nelson. The winning time, 134.23. 134.23. But it appears that he had problems in that pit box, so Adrian Squirrel was first to the line, Richard Smith, Richard Sims, Steve Sarrett, Keith Strudwick. That's the way in which they went to the gate, so it'll be interesting to see which sort of lines they've picked. And because of that problem, Chris Phillips has just managed to squeeze in on the inside of that start gate. You see Richard Smith has chosen to go on the inside. Adrian Squirrel, in fact, who ended up having first choice of gates, was about 3 in, so I think maybe not too much of a disadvantage for Chris Phillips after all that, because he's ended up on the inside. It appears Keith Strudwick has had problems as well, so he's actually riding a bike with number 50 on it, but we will score him as 124, obviously his normal number. And what was I saying about Chris Phillips on that inside gate? He's made a terrific start and got into that first bend, but the rest of the field come around the outside of him as he goes around that first bend. Adrian Squirrel right there with him. Richard Smith is the rider that's come through and got to the front. That's rider number 33. Chris Phillips dives in after him in that second spot, and as they all just get together in the middle of that bend, those two fighting it out in the front of the field as Chris Phillips now gets to the front and pulls away. Adrian Squirrel is in third place at the moment, but the battle really is right at the very front. Richard Smith trying to go around the outside once again. He's right on the back wheel of Chris Phillips, so Chris is working his way in tight on that bottom bend. He'll look to power up that back straight. Richard Smith forced to go very, very wide there. Steve Sarrett is the rider up in third place now, as Adrian Squirrel has started to drop back through the field. But it is Chris Phillips that leads going into the last lap, looks over his shoulder. He was the one to come and ask me in the interval, do we forget the points now, is it just a straight race? Well, the answer to that was yes. If you get over the line first, you take the checkered flag, you win it. It looks as if that's what he's determined to do, but Richard Smith determined to not let him have it easy as he goes into this last bend. Smith goes round the outside once again. Chris Phillips now will see him there. Can he do anything about it as Richard Smith comes to the line? He takes it. Chris Phillips gets second. Steve Sarrett finishes in third. Adrian Squirrel finishes in fourth. Bill Sims just puts an extra bit of power in to make sure he gets fifth place. But a terrific ride from Richard Smith, number 33. He retains his 250cc title. And congratulations from all three of those riders over there on the far side. Richard Smith, you can see he's delighted with that. CC final, our first final this afternoon, and a terrific victory on his 250 for number 33, Richard Smith. In second place, number 142, Chris Phillips, who looked for so long as if he was going to take it. In third place, number 162, that of course is Steve Sarrett. In fourth place, number 32, Adrian Squirrel. Fifth place, number 180, Richard Sims. In sixth place, number 118, Bill Sims. In seventh place, number 124, Keith Strudwick. In eighth place, number 201, Lee Pitman. Ninth place, number 1, Toby Golder, and 10th place, number 143, Keith Richards. The winning time was 128.44, 128.44 the time for the 250cc solo final. John Halsey and Jason Glenie on 19 points. Number 43, Roy Spreadbury, Steve Kensington on 17 points. Number 5, Mick Cave and Dean Bartholomew on 14 points. Number 60, Richard Thomas and Kevin Woodley, 12 points. Number 24, Rob Wilson and Tony Myles, also 12 points. So that's how they line up. Points to be scored, 7, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So an advantage of that extra point for getting the win. Could make all the difference to the riders that haven't scored quite so well through the legs. Interesting that once again Phil Pitman has decided to take that in middle gate as they get underway, looking to see who's made the best of it. I think it is Phil Pitman that's got the best of the start. John Halsey goes with him. Roy Spreadbury's up there as well as they all go into that first bend. Richard Thomas has lost out, they're going wide. You can see them, I think that John... Nick Cave that had moved through on the inside, but Richard Thomas does get the advantage and cut back in. Rob Wilson disappointingly right at the back of the field at the moment, but it's John Halsey that's taken over the lead. Roy Spreadbury is trying to come through as well, as Phil Pitman has now got a battle on his hands with Roy Spreadbury moving through on the inside. He dives in the inside and cuts the Boston circuit, left a gap for Phil Pitman to go through. Phil Pitman moves up into second place. It's John Halsey, while that battle's been going on, has allowed himself to get away from those two crews. Roy Spreadbury comes very, very close to Phil Pitman in this pit bend, and as they move up past us, he's got the advantage. Phil Pitman has moved up into second place. Problems for Richard Thomas and Kevin Woodley. They pulled out just to the right of me, but if you look to that far side, it's John Halsey and Jason Glenie that have got the best of it at the moment. Down the back straight they go, and that gap now between them and second place has opened up. It's Roy Spreadbury and Steve Kensington that are in second. As they move towards the last lap flag, just one more lap to complete. Steve Kensington looks over his shoulder. He knows that Phil Pitman and Miles Simmons are right there, and the slightest little mistake and Phil Pitman are capitalised on as they move down that back straight for the last time in this semi. It is John Halsey and Jason Glenie that are going to get maximum points as they come to this checkered flag. They get 7 points in the semi-final, moving their total on to 26. Well, it's close to the line as Phil Pitman again tries to actually get through into that second place. Roy Spreadbury, though, just hanging on to second spot. Result, a win for outfit number 13. That's John Halsey and Jason Glenie. They get maximum points from the semi-final. In second place, number 43, Roy Spreadbury and Steve Kensington. In third place, number 90, Phil Pitman and Miles Simmons. In fourth place, number 5, Mick Cave. And in fifth place, number 24, Rob Wilson. The winning time, 135.63. 135.63. So the second semi-final on the line, they get underway. Looks a good start, a good even start. Nobody's got the advantage as they come past me. Mark Edwards maybe have got to that first corner first, but Roger Meester's right there with him. He's back inside. A terrific turn from Roger Meester. He's on the inside, Mark Edwards on the outside, but Mark Edwards has got the advantage going down the back straight. Into this pit bend as Mark Edwards throws it in hard and goes wide. Roger Meester has come in a lot tighter, and Roger Meester now moving out, but Mark Edwards has still got the advantage. John Hiscock has moved up on the inside. He's got up into third place. Well, as the cones start to fly on that top corner, you can see it's getting very, very close for the front, because nobody wants to be behind any of those back wheels with the amount of dirt and stones that's flying, as Mark Edwards and Nick Walters stay in front, but Roger Meester has gone very tight. John Hiscock has gone with him as well. As they come up past me, it is still Mark Edwards and Nick Walters that lead. Roger Meester and Shane Lapham in second. John Hiscock and Matt Sleep holding that third place. Dave Steer in fourth place at the moment with Colin Hill. He won't be happy with that. You can see he just spurts it on going down that back straight. Mark Edwards throws it sideways in the middle of that bend. He lost ground, but he still maintained his lead. And look at Dave Steer coming up the inside. Well, I think Dave Steer has realised that maybe that fourth is not good enough, as John Hiscock is trying to go on the inside of Roger Meester for that second. John Hiscock has got the better line. He's left a gap, and is Dave Steer going to come through as well? We look to see as we go into this bottom bend. It's the checkered flag as they come towards me. This time it's Mark Edwards and Nick Walters that get maximum points. It's going to be close for second, but John Hiscock gets it. Roger Meester gets third place, and Dave Steer finishes in fourth. For Mark Edwards and Nick Walters, that moves their total on to 26 points, equal top scorers with John Halsey and Jason Glenie. 8 then is the number that goes in first place in race 36. In second place, number 184, John Hiscock and Matt Sleep. A terrific ride from them. In third place, number 51, Roger Meester and Shane Lapham. In fourth place, number 17, Dave Steer and Colin Hill. In fifth place, number 12, Tim Bennett and Steve Hargreaves. The winning time, 135.10. 135.10, that winning time. Well, on the line we've got the final ride for the 350s. After 3 legs, Mitchell Godden sits on 42 points. Oh, can he make it in with sweep? He's had 3 rides and 3 wins. But it's Steve Daw that's on the inside of him. Steve Daw on 36 points at the moment, number 110. Lee Street, number 75, is the other rider that's up there amongst the top scorers, but it's Mitchell Godden that's trying to make this 350 his this afternoon. As he goes down the back straight, he's got the lead back again from Steve Daw. We've had so many scraps on these 350s this year, these two. And as Mitch Godden comes past me, he looks to have just got a bike's advantage. And he turns in hard into this bottom bend. Steve Daw looking to find a way through. And Mitch Godden, you'll remember, is on maximum points from 3 rides so far. Steve Daw will be conscious of that as well as he goes up the back straight. Would love to get just one victory over Mitchell Godden this afternoon. But as they come round off the top bend, they both turn in hard, but Mitchell Godden still got the power on. That 350 sounds as if it's running absolutely perfectly as he goes into this bottom bend. Just one more lap to complete for Mitchell Godden. Lee Street has lost contact with those two at the moment. He's back in 3rd place, but he's built up quite a gap between him and the rest of the field. As we come into the last bend, it's going to be the checkered flag this time for the 350s, the last leg, and it's going to be a maximum score for Mitchell Godden. Terrific riding from him all afternoon on that 350, 4 rides and 4 wins. For number 9, Mitchell Godden. In 2nd place, number 110, Steve Daw. In 3rd place, number 75, Lee Street. In 4th place, number 186, Paul Orton. In 5th place, number 193, John Shames. In 6th place, number 5, Adrian Kessel, the winning time 125.59. So away we go with the 500cc final of event 3, and Dean Garton has made a terrific start. So Dean Garton goes into the front as they go into that first bend. I can see Gary Lobb up there in second, but look who's flying around the outside. It's Steve Daw. Steve Daw all the way around the outside, but Simon Gittings has got in front of him. So with a lot of work to do, Steve Daw is back in 3rd place now as he comes through, and Gary Lobb has put it down in that bottom bend. Gary Lobb puts it down. Straight away the marshal's flags go up to avoid that rider on the floor. And a red flag indeed has been put out in the interest of safety. The riders all being brought to a halt. The line. Starter happy, away they go, and it's Gary Phelps has made a terrific start this time. Dean Garton flying through on the inside, though. Steve Daw trying to follow Dean Garton as they go into this first bend. But Gary Phelps is up to the front and he pulls away coming off this top bend. He's gone very, very wide, and Dean Garton has come through on the inside of him. So Dean Garton goes through on the inside. Steve Daw has moved up through the middle of those two as well. Gary Phelps on the inside in 3rd at the moment. Simon Gittings moving out into 4th place as they go round that bottom bend. The dust is starting to fly in that bottom bend. It's making it difficult for the tail end to put right at the front. The action is absolutely packed as Dean Garton goes past me, leading from Steve Daw. Now you know that we've seen it already this afternoon. Steve Daw will make a challenge all the way to the checkered flag. Dean Garton looks over his shoulder quickly. Looks like there's problems for Gary Phelps. He slows and Simon Gittings goes up into 3rd. Dean Garton still with the power on. Leads Steve Daw in 2nd place. There is just one more lap to go. Has Steve Daw got anything left for this last lap? Simon Gittings moves up into 3rd. Steve Daw goes wide on the entrance to that pit bend. That means he can pull it in tight down the back straight, and he's doing exactly that. It's going to be a challenge for sure on this last bend as those two go into the top bend for the last time. Dean Garton keeps a nice clean tight line, and it's just enough. Daw tries everything he can, but Dean Garton takes it. Steve Daw gets 2nd place. Simon Gittings gets 3rd. Gary Phelps in 4th, and Mark Zimmer in 5th. Andy Parker across the line in 6th. Mike Trevor in 7th, and Robin Pilcher in 8th. Matthew Tyrrell crosses the line in front of Jeff Urban. But what a terrific ride from Dean Garton. I mentioned that he was probably the most disappointed that race was stopped. Well, he certainly didn't make it look it, did he? A terrific ride. A great ride from Gary Phelps. He did well here yesterday, and it's good to see him going so well in this sort of class. Final race 39, the 500cc solo. Number 16, Dean Garton was our 500cc winner. In 2nd place, number 110, Steve Daw. 3rd place, number 179, Simon Gittings. 4th place, number 84, Gary Phelps. 5th place, number 3, Mark Dimmer. 6th place, number 230, Andy Parker. 7th place, number 23, Mike Trevitt. 8th place, number 174, Robin Pilcher. And 9th place, number 198, Matthew Tyrrell. 1, Jeff Urban. The winning time, 125.85, 125.85. So the big sidecar final of the day, and as we get underway, it's going to be very, very close, that's for sure. But as they get underway, it is Mark Edwards and Nick Waters that have got to the front. Three outfits together going into that second place, into that first bend. Phil Pitman and Miles Simmons, I can see working their way through on the inside. It's John Halsey and Jason Glenie on the outside of them that have got back into second. But Mark Edwards and Nick Waters have got away from the rest of the field as they come round off that bottom bend. The dust really starts to fly. John Halsey and Jason Glenie up in second. Phil Pitman and Miles Simmons in third. Dave Steer is up in fourth place at the moment. Roger Measor working his way through the field has gone up into fourth place in front of Dave Steer, but Dave Steer wants to come back at him and get his fourth place back. He goes through into fourth, but it is Mark Edwards and Nick Waters that have had so many big wins already this year. Leading the field once again, John Halsey and Jason Glenie go past me in second. Phil Pitman and Miles Simmons in third place at the moment. That's the 1, 2, 3. Dave Steer holding fourth place as the dust clouds really do start to fly on that far side. We go into this bottom bend with Mark Edwards and Nick Waters looking very much in control. They've opened up a big gap now between them and John Halsey. Phil Pitman still there in second place. Dave Steer looks like he's going to have a go to that third spot, and Phil Pitman and Miles Simmons have got it at the moment, but Dave Steer trying to work his way through. Will he be able to get that third place as they'll come to the checkered flag this time? And as we see the checkered flag go out, it's going to be yet another victory this year for Mark Edwards and Nick Waters. They take it. John Halsey gets second place. Phil Pitman crosses the line in third, but only just from Dave Steer and Colin Hill. Roger Measor finishing in fifth place. John Hiscock, I'm sure, caught up in all the dust that was flying. It was a win for outfit number 8, Mark Edwards and Nick Waters. In second place, number 13, John Halsey and Jason Glenie. A terrific ride from them. In third place, number 90, Phil Pitman and Miles Simmons. In fourth place, number 17, Dave Steer and Colin Hill. In fifth place, number 51, Roger Measor and Shane Lapham. And in sixth place, number 184, John Hiscock and passenger Matt Sleep. The winning time, 134.11. 134.11. So that's the big finals over. What we've got left is on page 32, the solo handicaps. Now, we have been asked by the quads to put on a handicap for them, so that will be the first race. So here we go then with this odd quad handicap, and quite rightly you can see that Richard Seal has been given the worst disadvantage. He's been left right on that start line, and he's got a lot of work to do to try and catch them. Mark Treadwell has always moved up in one place. He's got himself to the front. Tony Nash in third place at the moment, trying to close up on that second place. So they should start getting a bit tighter as the laps go on. Steve Hawkins, of course, on that 350 Banshee. He was given the second to worst handicap, and he's now starting to try and go around the outside of Tony Nash as both of those close up on that second spot. They've certainly let Mark Treadwell get away a little bit, haven't they? Well, now Steve Hawkins moves around the outside and gets himself up in a second, and we'll see whether they can close down on the Mark Treadwell. Richard Seal, though, right on the back wheel of Tony Nash now as he's moved through, and this is what we expected from a handicap. It would all start getting a bit closer. Well, without a doubt, they proved they can go the other way, haven't they? Certainly going no slower than they were before. Look at Richard Seal now moving through. He's got himself up into third. I think it's a big gap he's got to try and close down Mark Treadwell. Well, there's still time to do it because I think the handicaps were going to be run over 6 laps. So last lap flag came out then, so they'll keep going. Richard Seal now moving through in the second. Got a big gap to try and close down. Mark Treadwell looks over his shoulder, pulls another ounce of energy, keep that machine going. So Steve Hawkins and Richard Seal pulling each other along to try and close down that gap between them and Mark Treadwell. Now there's just 2 more laps to go. That completes the fourth. And Richard Seal has now closed right up on Mark Treadwell. So what looked to be an enormous gap, Richard Seal has closed down, and down that back straight, will he make it to the front? Well, Mark Treadwell determined to hang on to it, but there goes Richard Seal. We thought we gave him a long handicap, but he's worked his way through steadily, and he's got himself to the front. One more lap to go then for Richard Seal as Mark Treadwell tries to hang on to that second place. Steve Hawkins right up there on his back wheel in third spot. Tony Nash having his own little private battle at the back of the field to make sure he doesn't finish last. But as we look down that back straight, Steve Hawkins has moved up into second, but it looks as if it's going to be, as we've seen most of the weekend, a victory for Richard Seal, a tremendous quad driver. Steve Hawkins gets second, Mark Treadwell gets third. And Tony Nash knew that I'd probably take the mickey out of him if he finished last, but he's managed to make sure he didn't finish quite last. Richard Seal. In second place, number 46, Steve Hawkins. In third place, number 9, Mark Treadwell. Fourth place, number 3, Tony Nash. And fifth place, number 2. The 250s are going to be given quite a distance. Now, obviously, considering the conditions, what they've said is give them quite a disadvantage. I just better try and explain all that. Look at that crowd going in later down the field. Well, Lee Street has got the lead at the moment, bearing in mind this is 6 laps, and you've got the 250 leading at the moment. And I think we lost Steve Daw on that first bend. We did indeed. So that's Steve Daw pushing off into the centre green. So, no Steve Daw. Who else have we got in the field? Mark Dimmer, you see moving through. He's number 3 in the green leathers. Chris Phillips trying to close up. Mitchell Godden is the rider that's coming through, and looking at that machine, I think Mitch has come out on his 350. So Mitch now starting to close down on those 250s in front of him. Dean Garton is further back down the field. I can see him moving through. Obviously all of them taking caution with the conditions down on the bottom there. But Lee Street, still the man to be caught at the moment, leading this handicap as they come round past me. Chris Phillips is the rider in second, but it's that 350 of Mitch Godden you want to keep an eye on, because as he comes around in third place, remember he has got the 350 power. He's already won the 350 this afternoon. Dean Garton is picking his way through. He's on a big 500. He's back in 5th place. Mark Dimmer in 4th place at the moment. Those are the 2 500s that are closing up. Lee Street still on this 250, leading at the moment from Mitch Godden on the 3. 250 for Chris Phillips, sitting there in 3rd place at the moment. Mark Dimmer on the 500s, now moving through, and Mitch Godden has pulled out. Problems for Mitch Godden as he pulls out on this bottom corner, so now it's a question of whether Mark Dimmer can actually catch those 250s in front of him. He's starting to close up on Chris Phillips. There's one more lap to go. Lee Street looks like he's done enough. He's got one more lap to go as Mark Dimmer tries to close down on Chris Phillips. Dean Garton has got closer to them as well. Oh, it's always so difficult with these handicaps. I think if we hadn't lost Steve Daw in that first corner, he could have been closing up on these 250s by now. But as we see the checkered flag go, the handicap is going to be won by a 250 in the hands of Lee Street. Chris Phillips gets 2nd place, Mark Dimmer gets 3rd place, and Dean Garton comes through for 4th. Well, I was asking a lot of them. Well, Mitch Godden has got going again, and he comes fast enough to prove that machinery is A-OK. Disappointing to see Steve Daw pushing back to the pits. He said he wanted to have a go at this handicap, and indeed I think he would have given it a go. But the first 4 that we got over the line, they're the ones that pick up some extra money for this afternoon. Number 75, Lee Street, was the winner. Number 142, Chris Phillips in 2nd. Number 3, Mark Dimmer in 3rd. And number 16, Dean Garton, finishing in 4th. Oh, they're looks unfortunately as if we are just going to be going with the 3 outfits. None of our top stars going for this handicap, so obviously saving themselves for the Masters next weekend. Aubrey Still though, who's always willing to give something like this a go, he gets the start. Justin Holyfield goes off in 2nd place. And has Rick Colvin got problems? No, he gets himself going as well. So Rick Colvin has got the work to do. Aubrey Still takes advantage of the fact that he's going to be leading the race for a while. Justin Holyfield still there in 2nd place. And Rick Colvin, the one who's got all the work to do, he was given the biggest disadvantage. Now Justin Holyfield is certainly had some good races today and obviously determined to make the best of this situation he's been given. Well, has Rick Colvin got problems on the far side? I think he has, so it's going to be a straight race between these two for the prize money. Well, Justin Holyfield certainly trying to find a way through at the moment as he goes into that top corner. He looks to have made the advantage and has got himself to the front. So Justin Holyfield and John Hudson taking full advantage. I think obviously the conditions not perfect for this sort of race, and a lot of the sidecar drivers feeling that they've probably been battered by stones enough this afternoon that it might have been hard work coming through. Past me for the 4th time. It is still Justin Holyfield and John Hudson, as I'm sure you can all see, riding that 1000 Godden Wasp. Aubrey Still and Paul Pike, no answer to them at the moment, and it will be the last lap flag for them this time as they come round. So my apologies to those of you that put money into this handicap. We did think we'd get 1 or 2 of the top boys, but obviously they want to save machinery, and it's been a very hard day's racing. Remind you that we have got a presentation of awards before you all disappear tonight. As we look to that far side, it's going to be the checkered flag for Justin Holyfield this time. I'm sure he's not going to mind that none of the big boys came out against him for this handicap. So as he takes the checkered flag, he'll earn the extra prize money. And Aubrey Still and Paul Pike finish in 2nd. Even my lap scorers have given up on me on this one. Look. The official result, 61, Justin Holyfield and John Hudson. In 2nd place, number 116, Aubrey Still and Paul Pike. Round to say, who can we get to present the trophy? He's been involved in this sport for donkeys years, put so much into it. Who better than Lou Coffin? Lou, I've got to ask you, enjoyed the racing you've seen this afternoon?
I think it's one of the best races this year. A lot of hard work gone into it, and excellent races. Once or twice the sidecars had me standing in fright actually, they were so close. But what an excellent reason. You've done it ever so well to keep the dust going over to the wood side. We didn't get none of the bits. No, very, very good. I think your country will congratulate you for excellent reason.
Well, thanks Lou, very much appreciated. And I think you're right, there has been a lot of hard work. I'm not thinking about that. Right, we start with the presentation then. We've got these trophies down here for the quads, and the winner of the 500cc quads, he cheated a little bit because he rode a 350 Banshee, but we don't mind. It was of course Steve Hawkins. Well done, Steve. Thanks very much indeed. Obviously the 250 quads was a much harder competition, but one man who put so much work into getting these quads onto the speedway, onto the ice and wherever you want to get them, he finished in 2nd place on his 250 Suzuki. It's our own Tony Nash.
I know you can't bounce.
Well, Tony, of course, there was one winner that we've got to call up here. He did it the best way of all. He didn't stop winning all day long. He knows how to ride a quad. He's got a very quick one to go with it. He is, of course, the winner of the 250, Richard Sill. getting Lou to do the presentation. You always end up having a chat with her. But a good day's racing, Richard. Thanks very much indeed. Right, we move on to the classes that we have all these trophies here for. The Dave Bean Trophy is for the 250cc, and the winner of the Dave Bean Trophy this year is number 33, Richard Smith. So I thought for a minute you won it last year, but I thought I'd have a quick look at those names on there. Well done, Richard, thanks very much indeed. The 350cc, well, there's only one way to win something when it's done on points, and that is to get maximum points from every single ride. He proved that he's got a very, very quick 350. The Very Down Tyre Trophy goes to the 350 winner this year. It is Mitch Garton. And I suppose I ought to try and embarrass you really, shouldn't I, Mitch? I know Louis wants to find out exactly what's going on, but quick question, what happened in the end there?
Cut out.
The cut out. Manually or by some other force?
No, I think it's stunning or something. I think I would have had it.
Well, there we are, confidence. Well done, Mitch. Brilliant riding on the 350. He takes the Very Down Trophy this year. In the 500cc, we've got this fabulous mock trophy to be given away, and I'm used to saying that when this rider wins, the trophy disappears off the Cornwall. But fortunately, he's moved up near us. He's not going too far this year because it's been won by number 16, Dean Garton. I wouldn't let everybody into that secret, as Lou just asked you. Where have you moved to now, Dean?
West Sussex, is only about an hour away, so I'm local now.
Well, there you are. We have got one good rider in the Southern Centre now that we can join with all the others we've got there. One more joined us. Some excellent riding. Dean, you obviously enjoyed the circuit.
Yeah, it got better as the day went on. Parked the stones. And I thought Steve was going to have it, but I just got a good gate and just held on. Lucky, really. Thanks.
Well, lucky, but some brilliant riding anyway. The great Dean Garton. Well, we move on to the sidecar competition. I can work out what we've got here. Oh, that was for yesterday, wasn't it? That one wasn't collected yesterday. We thought we would give that one out. But we move on to the 1000cc sidecars, and we've got the Jackson Gold Cup there, and also the Pete and Jim Ed Sidecar Trophy. So to collect them this year, we need sidecar number 8, Mark Edwards and Nick Walters. Well, yeah, I know this is a bit you hate, isn't it, Mark? Yeah, well, I've got to try and get a few intelligent words out of you. Chose that word carefully, didn't we? Well, Mark, obviously another trophy. It is turning out to be a very good year for you. I mean, what can I say? You enjoyed that this afternoon?
Yeah, I've got to give credit to the club. They put on a real good show today. They worked hard on the track. The track was brilliant.
Well, thank you. You weren't really expected to say that. Lou said that already. But the machinery looks to be in tip-top condition. Can I ask you how we're looking forward and preparing for next week?
Yeah, I might clean it.
Always the technical bits, Mark. Well, Nick, obviously pleased again that I'm going to have to say a few words with you, but any secret preparation for this weekend?
I've got levers to do, so do a bit.
Do his bit. Well, we wish him the best of luck in the Masters next weekend. Our cycle winners this afternoon, Mark Edwards and Nick Walters. And there is just one more trophy to be presented to you, which is the Blair McCormack trophy that was given to us some 5-6 years ago now, perhaps. And when we said, well, we've already got enough trophies to be given away for all the events we run, he said, well, give it to the most entertaining rider. And that was a very loose description, so we said what we'll do is we'll get the marshals and all the officials to decide on who it was. Year on year, I think if you look at there on there, you can see that we've had some terrific winners of this trophy. Maxine Hill back in 1990, Richard Muston, Rob Vincent, Gary Jackson and Kevin Williams. Steve Thor was our winner last year, but this year it goes again to a sidecar crew, Royce Bradbury and Steve Kensington. Indeed, a lot of effort put in from this crew, but as Lou has just reminded them that they've not only pulled the wheelies and everything today, but also mechanical problems as well, I understand, Roy.
Yeah, we're not sure what happened really, but Terry Phillips is having a listen to it. He seems to think it might be on the top end, so it won't be as expensive for comp. But, you know, rattles are expensive, whatever happens.
Well, they certainly are, and we hope that it's not too expensive. Well done this afternoon, our most entertaining riders in 1995, and I can say very quickly a thank you to everybody here who stayed for the presentation. Hope you've enjoyed the racing here this afternoon. We, as everybody said, put a lot of effort in this. A lot of people work behind the scenes to get the track in this sort of condition. Our biggest thanks go, of course, to the landowners and the people who live in this area, who continue to let us use this area, all the sponsors, etc. From me, as a member of Basingstoke, I say thank you for supporting us this year, and I hope to see you all back here again next year.